So what you're checking for here is the check to see if there's 2 inches. And there's 2 inches there. You're checking to see how much stroke you got. That's good. So now we move on to the coupling devices, and since this is a dump, we're not going to have a 5th wheel. So that automatically eliminates our 5th wheel inspection, our saddle mounts. And then the other thing is a pintle hook, but this is not equipped with one, so it passes coupling devices. So what you're looking for here is leaks, exhaust system, right now there's no leaks. And then you want to check your fuel system, fuel tanks, make sure everything's tight, secured. Oh, fuel cap's loose. Always want to check that. So now we're checking lights here. Make sure your blinkers work. Brights, good. There are no dims, so that's a violation. 5-star lights are out, that's a violation. And none of those lights work. Check your markers. These lights back here, brake light's good.
Something else we're gonna have to check on is
More markers out. Marker out. Marker out. That marker is good. And that's all you're checking for with lights. When we're inspecting the safe loading, we're looking for anything that can fall off or shift, any cargo, but since this is a dump, we don't have to worry about that. Just make sure your box is adequately mounted onto the frame, which it is. That's all for that. Alright, when we're checking the steering mechanism, we want to make sure your wheel, since this is a power steering system, it can't be over 4 inches, 4.5 inches of creep play, which, yeah, I think that's good enough. And then you want to check your steering column here. Look for any broken or cracked. Make sure there's no welds or anything on it. That it's not an acceptable repair. Move down your pitman arm, give that a shake, see if the output shaft on your steering gear is loose, which this one seems to be. You can just feel that right there. Check your drag link for play. Hop down. Tie rod. And this particular truck has a hydraulic steering assist. We'll hop over and check this out. Check all the nuts. Make sure all the cotter pins are in there. And the steering assist does seem to have a leak. And the hose is getting rubbed raw here from the tire, I take it. And that's good for that. When you're checking your suspension, you want to check all your components, your U-bolts, your center bolts. Make sure your springs are straight and there's no crack, missing leaves. You want to hop around to all corners of it and look at it. Get right down there, get a wire brush out if you need. Check for shocks. Then you want to move back here and check your airbags, which this lift axle, the big, is folded over and leaking. So that would not pass inspection. And while you're down here, you can check your rear leaves, make sure nothing's cracked or missing, and the pillow block on this side seems to be in there cockeyed, so I'd look into that a little more. And then while you're down here, this is what you can check your brake hoses. and the rest of your air lines. Make sure there's no rubbing, chafing, or holes. And that's after that.
So what you want to do is check your frame for any cracks. Make sure everything's no missing nuts, bolts. Make sure, since this is a dump truck, make sure dump sits on there good. And while you're doing this, might as well check the rims. Make sure all the nuts are there. Make sure everything's tight. Make sure the lug nuts are tight. All tires are good.
You would have a tread depth gauge.
Frame's good here. Dump sitting on there pretty good. And oh, tires off its bead. So what you do is take that off, put it in a cage and air it up. Frame's good, dump's good.
And you'd be checking your tread depth with the tread depth gauge. And your minimum tread that you're allowed is 4/32.
Frame's good.
Look for missing hardware.
Make sure all nuts and bolts are on. None's missing.
Alright, your windshield and wiper inspection. You're checking for any cracks or rock hits like that in the path of the wiper blades. That is in violation. If you have cracks on the top or the bottom where the wipers don't hit or they're not in your line of view, you're good. And then to check your wipers, does not work. It's a pretty ragged out old unit here, so that ain't gonna pass neither. When you're done and complete with your inspection, and if you found anything that may or may not be a safety concern, you would let the driver know